Ugh, just my luck. Why does it have to be pouring now? I want to go home. I'll be soaked by the time I reach the subway. I run down the street, holding my bag over my head in a futile attempt to block the rain. I do my best to stay underneath the shop awnings. The cars speeding down the street, however, kick up puddles that shower me in rainwater. I'm ill prepared for such weather. I didn't even take a hoodie with me, let alone an umbrella. The damp cold seeps into my body, making me shiver. This day sucks. My boss yelled at me again, and I had to cover for my sick coworker on top of doing my own task. My office job sucks. I recently graduated from college and got this boring job where all I do is call people to sell them beauty products. Adult life sucks. It hadn't taken me long to tire of the monotony of adult life. I just want to curl up under a blanket and read web novels. Being the heroine of a fantasy romance novel would be such an amazing life. Fighting to save a kingdom from impending doom with magical powers and falling in love with a hottie. Thinking about what to do next, I run through the crosswalk. What? By the time I notice, the light is actually red, not green. It's too late. I'm in the middle of the crosswalk with a truck driver straight at me. Should I take a step back or run forward? Quick! Thanks, Celine! I take a step back, but it's too late. What? I think I've become modern art. Ah! It hurts! The pain! It's excruciating! My whole body. It hurts so much. Until I suddenly stop feeling anything anymore. The absence of pain brings me relief. I let my life go. The next thing I know, I'm floating in a cotton-like substance. I feel comforted, safe even. Have I really died? Am I in heaven now? But I really wanted to read the latest chapter of my favorite author's new web novel. Now I'll never know what happens to the heroine in the end. A chuckle escapes me, a loud sound in this quiet place. Pathetic, aren't I? I died and I'm just thinking of my hobbies. Not my parents or friends. Not that I had a great relationship with anybody anyway. I was quite a loner. What is that sound? In the emptiness, I can hear someone singing. An angelic voice. It's calling to me. You must fight on. I must? But I'm dead! I don't have to do anything! I don't owe you anything, angels! I don't owe the world anything! Suddenly I feel a pull. My soul gets grabbed and yanked towards a golden whirlpool. I scream, but no sound comes out of my mouth. I close my eyes, the shifting reality around me making me feel dizzy. When my senses return to me again, the first thing I notice is the fresh scent of the forest. I open my eyes and look around. I'm in the middle of the woods, lush canopies of trees above me swaying gently in a light breeze. There's something heavy in my hand, and when I look down, I see that I'm holding a simple hunting bow. My feet, clad in riding boots, sink into the damp green moss of the forest floor. I'm out hunting, I realize. Wait, how is this possible? I just died and... It's been ages since I've handled a bow. The last time I practiced archery was in middle school, back when my parents could still afford to spoil me. I also hadn't put on such high boots today for work, or these fancy pants, or this jacket. The outfit looks almost like it belongs to the Korean webcomic. Who am I? Celeste? Where are you, Celeste? Somehow, I suddenly realize I'm supposed to be hiding. Hiding from what or whom, I don't understand. I only know I must seek cover. The urge to disappear from sight is so strong that I don't even question it. I find a thicket of bush to dive into them, not caring that my outfit will get dirty and torn. From my hiding spot, I observe the situation, holding my breath. A handsome man with red hair, tied back in a ponytail, runs towards me. He's wearing some sort of fantasy armor, and he has two thin swords on his hip. I recognize this person. This man is my knight, Levi Perinth. Wait, I don't have a knight, I'm Celine. I'm a 21-year-old simple American office worker, fresh out of college with a job in sales. Is that really the whole truth, though? Levi turns left and right, searching for me. Celeste, please come out! Failing to discover me, he runs off. I recognize this guy's looks from somewhere. The name Celeste is familiar too. No. I couldn't have. Did I get reincarnated? Here? Out of all the books or games that I could have been... Out of all the books and games that could have been the setting for my reincarnation, why did I end up in the BL tragic fantasy web novel? Why this one? Saint of the Golden Bow is the work's name. It was recently adapted to a webcomic. That's how popular it was. The book used to be one of my favorites, but the world of the story is not a nice place to live. There's a war going on with a demon queen. And Celeste. Why did I have to be reincarnated as her? What I just witnessed was the opening scene of the book. Before Levi is chosen to become the titular saint, he goes out hunting with his unrequited love, the lady he's serving. He's supposed to protect Celeste, but he loses sight of her at some point and... Ungodly sound makes the hairs on my skin stand up. The creature that made the sound appears to my right. It's the ugliest thing I've ever seen. An abomination. A demon. I mean, it's kind of cute. Being for real here, I would keep it as a pet. The imp's leathery wings flap in the air. Then the creature flies towards me. It has spotted me. This is a moment when Celeste Decorus dies a miserable death to become part of Levi's tragic backstory. But I just died from being hit by a truck. I don't want to die again. Especially not in a scripted event where I'm supposed to just fade away so I can serve as part of someone else's tragedy. Not doing anything to save myself is not like me at all. The imp is still far away enough for me to attempt to save my life. I have to act quickly or the monstrosity is coming closer and closer. My hands are sweaty and my arms are shaking. I refuse to give up. Shoot the demon with the bow. In my hands, I hold the key to my salvation. I pull out an arrow, draw back, and aim at the imp that's flying straight to me. I take a breath and release it, remembering what I was taught in middle school about archery. But I'm sure of my shot, and know I can't delay any longer. I send the arrow flying. The arrow hits the demon straight in its ugly little head. With a frightening sound, the monstrosity falls to the ground. I breathe heavily, collapsing to my knees. I did it! I thumped my balled-up fist against the ground, feeling the damp moss beneath my fingers. I breathed deeply again, taking in the smell of the gorgeous forest. They calmed me down. I'm alive. Tears rolled down my cheeks. I was terrified, but I survived. Celeste! Levi comes running towards me, but he sees the imp dead a few steps away from me, and the bow still grasped in my hands. A gasp of surprise escapes his lips. Celeste, what happened? Did you kill this demon yourself? I nod, for a moment entertaining the thought that I'm indeed Celeste, not Celine. I open my mouth to explain the situation, but my voice sounds raw and shaky. I killed the demon. I finally managed to whisper. Levi walks up to me and kneels down before me. My lady, can you walk? I give his question some thought, but I feel so weak. I wipe my tears away. I don't think so. I'll carry you. No! There's no need for... Levi takes me in his arms, bridal style. The bow slips from between my fingers. A close proximity is so embarrassing. I want to hide my face, but I can only do so against my chest, which is a less than ideal option.
My bow.
There's voice acting?
Don't worry about the weapon. I will return for your bow later. Right now, it's of utmost importance that I carry you back to the safety of the mansion.
I honestly feel like there should be more, there should be a little more panic in his voice, a little more oomph to it. Like, I feel like the way it should have been done is like, don't worry about the weapon. I will return for your bow later. Right now, it's of utmost importance that I carry you back to the safety of the mansion. Like, there has to be that sense of emergence to it. Like, that's what I feel.
But it's...
I still protest. Levi gives me a glare.
No buts. Let me do my job, for once.
Aren't we running through the forest? I feel like we're just a little, I feel like he's a little chill. Like, I wouldn't imagine him sounding this chill as we're running through the forest. I let out a long sigh and stopped resisting. Levi walks towards where we left our horses, or so my memory, as Celeste recalls. So, I really am Celeste now? I'm part of the world of the Saint of the Golden Bow, but I was supposed to die, so what will my survival mean for the story now? All washed up, my lady. After an awkward bath where I had to let my mate Linda wash me, I'm finally dressed in a nightgown and allowed to rest. My body feels weak, and the shock of dying, reincarnating, then almost dying again, finally taking a toll on me. A loud yawn escapes my lips. I cover my mouth. I am going to lie down. Is there anything else you need from me? I forgot I'm supposed to formally dismiss Linda whenever I want to be alone. She's Celeste's servant, after all. I'm good for now. I'll call you later if I need anything. Alright, my lady. Linda curtsies before me, and then she exits the room. I sink into the softness of the mattress, taking a good look around the room. This place has an undeniably expensive, polished, fancy look. Somebody has tried very hard to make the atmosphere more feminine, and I know it wasn't Celeste. The Celeste the books mention is quite the tomboy, caring little for girly things like dolls and decorations. She doesn't have good social skills. She lacks proper knowledge of etiquette, and she dances like an elephant. Instead, she's great at archery, hunting, and riding horses. However, this society deems all those activities inappropriate for a lady, and thus, she doesn't have many friends. Sounds so much like me in my past life. The only two people who really like Celeste are Levi, who for some reason, that isn't really explained in the book, adores his lady, and... Celeste? You alright? Celeste's twin sister, Eurydice. The book also briefly mentions Eurydice as part of Levi's backstory, simply describing her as the more ladylike twin who loves pink and romance novels. I feel Celeste's emotions for Eurydice in my heart, though. Celeste really cherishes her sister. Celeste? Eurydice notices that I'm staring at her with a faint smile on my face. I'm alright. Thank you for worrying about me. She rushes over to my bed, fixing the pillow under my head and helping me sit up. Well, of course I'm worried about you. You're my beloved sister. What would I do if I lost you? Oh, God. I'm fine. I've been through worse. Levi was with me. I'm fine. I've been through worse. I quickly sought through Celeste's memories. Remember that time I stole Marquise Hall's prized mare and rode her into the woods until she threw me off. Then Father and Levi found me lying in a ditch. They looked for that horse for days. As though the missing horse is the most important part of that story. Your whole side was bruised and you got ill from the cold and the damp. But you nursed me back to health, didn't you? Of course. Someone has to take care of you when you don't even bother to take care of yourself. I give her a wide smile. Mission accomplished so far with pretending to be Celeste. I really would like to know what happened today, though. Levi babbled something about a demon? I'd like to know more. Whoa, oh, that's the father. I'd like to know more too, for the matter. Father walks into the room without knocking or otherwise warning us of his presence. He has a stern look on his face, but that's just his usual expression, and God damn it, why did you have to be the dad? You're hot! God, frick! The joy I felt at talking to Eurydice momentarily evaporates. New emotions from Celeste surfaces in my heart. Her father has always made her feel lesser, inadequate. I review her memories of him and curse inwardly. To say her father favors Eurydice wouldn't at all capture the severe inequality of the situation. During some of their past interactions, he has been outright abusive, belittling Celeste and calling her names. I stiffen my spine, sitting up straight. I took so much shit as Celine. I'm not doing it again as Celeste. What happened today that's left you so disheveled? I look down at myself. The only blemish in my appearance is a scratch on my knee from when I hid in the bushes. The mark is so small that I didn't even notice it while breathing. Otherwise, I'm wearing a fresh nightgown and all cleaned up. There's nothing disheveled about me. I give Father a defiant look. As you can see, I'm fine. Thanks for asking. Father huffs. You and your sister's 18th birthday is in 3 days. We're leaving for the capital the day after tomorrow. If you're not healed up and in top form by then, I'll be up and running by tomorrow. My body feels tired and heavy, but it's nothing a bit of sleep can't fix. I see Eurydice scoot slightly to the left, as if taking a step away from Father's negative energy. You'd better be. I don't want you to ruin the golden bow ceremony for your sister. You're banned from leaving the mansion for the next 3 days. I open my mouth to tell him off, but my eyes land on Eurydice. She shakes her head slightly. To honor her wishes, I decide not to agitate Father any further. Alright. I nod. I don't feel like going hunting or horseback riding anyway. Someone would quickly notice that I'm not as good at those activities as Celeste should be. I'm still not sure how much of her skills I can access for myself. Levi set me in front of himself on his horse to return us to the mansion earlier, so I have no idea if I actually know how to ride a horse myself. I only rode a horse once or twice as Celine when I was a kid, not nearly enough to match Celeste's experience. Now, tell me what happened. I killed a demon. Both Father and Eurydice let out a gasp of surprise. You what? Levi said you had an encounter with a demon, but I assumed he was the one to kill it. I shake my head and smile. I shot an imp with my bow. What was such a monstrosity doing in the middle of Lokari Empire lands? We're far from the warfront. The imp was conveniently there to kill Celeste for Levi's tragic backstory. I want to tell the truth, but of course I won't. Father and Eurydice would take me for a madwoman if I babble about them being characters from a novel. I don't know, but the monster attacked me, so I killed it. I shrug like my actions were nothing out of the ordinary. After all, in the face of danger, it's kill or be killed. Father sits down on the chair next to the entrance of my room and hides his face in his hands. I knew my daughter wasn't much of a noble lady, but this... He mumbles loudly enough for both Eurydice and I to hear him. My sister and I share a smile. Where was your knight when the demon attacked you? I should choose my words carefully. I don't want Levi to take the blame for my actions. I ran off on him again. I wanted to hunt on my own. Of course. He lets out a long sigh, like I'm burning him more than he can bear. My body takes this moment to remind me how tired I am. A big yawn escapes my lips. I cover my mouth with my hand. Rest. Father gets up and gestures for Eurydice to leave. Eurydice nods and walks behind him out of the room. She turns back to me when she's in my doorway and gives me a warm smile. Get some rest. I'll be back later. I return her smile and sink more deeply into the bed, making myself comfortable. It doesn't take long for me to fall into dreamless slumber. When I wake up again, the rays of morning sun pour into my room. I get out of the bed and stretch to make sure my body is working properly. I feel refreshed after a long sleep. No more weaknesses in my limbs. Everything's in order again. I walk to the desk to sit down. I take a fresh sheet of paper. I hesitate when I realize there's only quill for writing, but I won't be stopped. I produce a few scratchy letters. My handwriting looks terrible. It seems I can't directly access Celeste's skills after all. That's quite inconvenient. I can manage to write with a quill, but not very well, and only in English, of course. I have to write down everything I know about the web novel Saint of the Golden Bow, so I can organize my knowledge of the world and line it up with Celeste's memories. Scratchy handwriting or not, I need to sort out all of my assets. Let's start with the basics. Saint of the Golden Bow is a romantic tragedy fantasy web novel by the Korean web novelist Hanul Kim. I read the English translation on one of my favorite web novel and comic apps. The story was supposed to be turned into a webcomic and had promo art, which is how I was able to recognize Levi immediately. His design in the artwork even had him in the same outfit he was wearing on the day of the demon attack. Maybe I should also write down... Blah. I mean, I know what a web novel is, I know what a webcomic is, I know what BL is. Do you all really need a primer? I'm not gonna go through their explanation for this, but web novels are basically like indie, short novels, like light novels that are published on the web. Webcomics would be like what you would find on Webtoon and such. They're like Comics which are read vertically, you're supposed to just scroll them down. BL is boys love. You are on this channel. We are all here for hot men. You all know what we're here for. And yeah, I think I covered the basics, so there's nothing else. Nothing else? I've got the basics. That's enough. I get up for a moment and wander over to the mirror. I touch a hand to the glass. The design of Celeste wasn't included in the promo art. I take in my new features. Purple hair, pink eyes, a slender figure. There's no denying it. I'm really not Celine anymore. The understanding that I've reincarnated into a novel finally settles in my mind. I feel calm. Calmer than I ever thought I would be if something out of a novel suddenly changed the course of my life. There's no fighting the reality, is there? As strange as the situation is, I'm Celeste, and I have her memories, but somehow, I'm Celine as well, equipped with knowledge of this world that Celeste never had. I walk back to the desk and sit down to continue organizing my thoughts. Maybe after I process everything, I will break down and cry about my fate. Right now, however, I don't feel like moping around. Instead, I want to fight for a better fate. Back to Saint of the Golden Bow. The book starts with Celeste's death event. Levi was in love with this lady for years, but the actual love interest of the story is Prince Noah. Celeste has to die at the beginning of the book to make Levi feel at his lowest, when the Golden Bow chooses him as the saint. Why didn't Celeste save herself if she was so great at archery? Must be book logic. She had to die for the story in the Saint of the Golden Bow to proceed the way it did. Soon after Celeste's death, Levi's quest to save the Lokari Empire from the Demon Queen begins. However, he doesn't go alone. Noah, as well as High Priest Elijah, the second love interest, both accompany him on the journey. Noah and Levi fall in love. Elijah falls in love with Levi too, but Levi chooses Noah. When the final confrontation with the Demon Queen happens, the love Noah and Levi share is an important component of defeating the Fiend. Through their love, the magic of the weapon becomes stronger. However, this story is a tragic one. Even though Levi defeats the Demon Queen, he perishes in the process. Noah and Elijah lives on, and peace returns to the Lokari Empire. I remember crying at the end of the book and cursing the author for writing such a beautiful, yet heart-wrenching tale. I've reread the novel twice. Saint of the Golden Bow is really one of my favorite stories. I still don't appreciate being reincarnated into this world though, especially not as Celeste, whose only purpose in the story is to add angst to Levi's life. I didn't die when I was supposed to though, and now the story is continued regardless. I wonder how many things will change because Celeste is alive. Can Levi still fall in love with Noah despite the fact that I'm still here? Can I fall in love with all of them? That's the important bit here. I know that as an otome, I'm supposed to choose one. But for once in my life, can I have all three love interests? That's something I can have. I really want my ship to sail and for the boys to get together, but I don't know if that outcome is possible under these circumstances. Or would it be that, like, whoever I choose, the other two love interests will get together? I feel like that's probably the case. I feel like all three love interests are probably bi. If Levi and Noah don't fall in love at the end of the quest, will Levi still be able to defeat the Demon Queen? I shudder. What if I've broken the story beyond repair by avoiding my demise? What was I supposed to do though? Just roll over and die? That's so not like me. I'm a fighter. Maybe I can change the story even further so that Levi can still survive the final encounter. I have no idea how to make this plan work, but maybe the opportunities to influence the world further will present themselves to me. After all, the thought is chilling. What's happening here isn't just a web novel story. Saint of the Golden Bow is my new reality. On the day of Celeste and Eurydice's 18th birthday, Father takes us to the capital to attend the Golden Bow ceremony. Levi had his 18th birthday a few days ago as well. Since he's of lower standing than the Count's family, Father got the approval of the church for Levi to attend our ceremony together with us, instead of his own a few days earlier. Your knight has to guard you at all times, Father had said to Celeste before reincarnated into her body. After the encounter with the imp, he's become even more convinced that Levi shouldn't leave my side. Now that Levi is complaining about having to stick close to me, for obvious reasons, he's just so down bad. Levi is clearly so down bad for us. You can smell it. You can smell the desperation pouring out of his veins. Now, Eurydice, Levi, and I are standing in the middle of the chapel in the royal palace in Solus, Lokari Empire's capital. Behind us are many other people who will be tested. Before us, the high priest Elijah Sorin takes a spot behind the titular golden bow, the fabled artifact that will choose the saint one day. I know the day will be today since Levi is the one who will be chosen. I eye the bow with suspicion. Light reflects off its gold-covered surface. The design is pretty and elaborate. Looks like a pain in the ass to use as a weapon. Too ornamental for my taste.
We are all gathered here today to see if the golden bow...
Wait, hang on. Pause. The audio is way too loud for the voice acting, so I'm getting to fix that.
We are all gathered here today to see if the golden bow, the weapon given to us by our Lord to help us one day defeat the vile demon queen, will finally choose its saint. On this beautiful morning, when the sun's rays fall through the windows of our chapel, let us give our gratitude to the Lord. He has given us means to end the war that has been raging for so many decades.
I've never been particularly religious, even in my past life. I especially don't believe in a fantasy god, but...
Let us give our gratitude.
Okay, Eurydice!
Let us give our gratitude.
Okay. When Eurydice and Levi bow their heads and say a word of prayer, along with all the other people in the hall, I mumble the words as well.
Let us give our gratitude.
Oh, it almost has a Genshin-like quality to it. I don't know why. I don't want to draw suspicion to myself after all.
20 years ago, the blessed blacksmith was bestowed with the Lord's inspiration and crafted the golden bow. He worked tirelessly, day and night, until finally, he completed the artifact. Ever since then, the people of the Lokari Empire have sought to be tested on the day of their 18th birthday by the golden bow. The artifact will choose its wielder. That person will become the saint and be tasked with defeating the demon queen who has terrorized our borders for 23 years.
I'm glad Elijah reminds us of the history of the bow. I've forgotten some of the details.
I will now call forth today's attendees to be tested. Each of you just needs to touch the golden bow once, and its judgment will be bestowed on you.
What if I caress the bow instead? I mean, yeah, that's touching it once, but just very thoroughly. Elijah takes out a sheet of paper and reads the first name from the list. Eurydice Decorus, daughter of Count Decorus. Eurydice approaches the bow. She puts a hand on the artifact. Nothing happens. Of course. What else did I expect? Levi is the saint. The golden bow will only glow for him. A frown appears on the high priest's brow as he reads the next name. Celeste Decorus, daughter of Count Decorus. I take a deep breath and step onto the podium, reminding myself I shouldn't expect anything. I put my hand on the weapon. For a moment, nothing happens, but then... the bow glows! It's like getting brighter and brighter with each second. The light feels scorching hot. I close my eyes, worrying I'll go blind if I don't. You must go on. I hear the angelic voice again. Was the bow the one speaking to me when I was reincarnated? Or was it the god of light himself? The thought that I may have been addressed by a deity is frightening. No. Gods aren't real. You're not religious, Celine. It's a golden bow. The burning light makes my skin feel like it's on fire, so I take my hand away from the bow. But my hand continues burning, the searing pain climbing up my arm and to my chest. Ah! I scream. My head is spinning. The pain is too much for me to handle. I want it to stop. Stop! On fire! Yeah! I'm dying! Not again! Lady Celeste! Sister! Levi and Eurydice are calling out to me, but I don't have the strength to respond. My consciousness fades, darkness taking me into its comforting embrace. I feel so groggy. I'm in the guest room of the apartment that was assigned to our family when we first arrived at the place for the ceremony. The impersonal decor makes the place feel cold and unwelcoming. I know the room is supposed to look grand and elegant, but I don't feel at home here at all. Lady Celeste can't be the Saintess of the Golden Bow. The role is too dangerous for her. I turn my head to the left. Levi and Eurydice stand by the door. Neither of them notice I'm awake. Just imagining her going on the dangerous quest to defeat the Demon Queen, it makes me terrified for her life. We have to stop the church and Empress from declaring her to be the Saintess. Levi, it's not for us to decide who the Saintess is. Neither is it the choice of the church or the Empress. It's the God of Light who singled out Celeste to be the savior of our empire. This must be some kind of mistake. Levi, you're committing blasphemy here. You can't go against God's wishes. But Lady Celeste is... Look, I know you're worried for my sister, but please, mind your words. If someone other than me hears your opinion about God's choice, you may get in trouble. So I really am the Saintess of the Golden Bow. I speak up, not believing my own words. Levi and Eurydice turn to me. Eurydice runs up to the bed and takes my hand in hers. Celeste, you're awake. How are you feeling? Fine, I think. Just a bit tired. You really scared us in the chapel. You screamed like someone was tearing you apart. The light of the bow entering my body felt like it was burning me. That sounds horrible. Tears well up in Eurydice's eyes. I squeeze her hand, trying to comfort her. I glance behind her to where Levi still stands by the door. He has a defeated look on his face. When he notices me watching him, he finally approaches the bed, standing behind Eurydice. I can't be the Saintess. It was supposed to. I cut myself off when I realized I almost just said that Levi was supposed to be chosen as the saint. I can't tell them what happens in the book. They don't even know they live in a fictional world. For some inexplicable reason, the Golden Bow, the God of Light himself, has chosen me instead of the savior of the Lucari Empire. Why me? I ponder out loud. I am so confused. I don't want to be the Saintess. Why has the story suddenly changed so much? I only did my best to survive. Why? Did the fact that I wasn't slain by the demon really create such a severe butterfly effect? Or had I already been chosen at the moment of my reincarnation? I remember the angelic voice of the bow sounding just like the voice I had heard after dying in the accident at Selene. I'm sure you'll do fine. You're excellent at archery. Eurydice smiles through her tears, trying to reassure me. I'm not as confident about my fighting skills as Eurydice is. Celeste may have been good at the bow, but I can't access her full abilities. Judging by my handwriting, I can only manage the bare minimum of what she could do. I'm not proficient in any of her skills. I only know how to use the bow somewhat from my experience as Selene in the middle school. This whole situation is so depressing. No, I mustn't lose heart. I have to stay strong and face my fate head on. What's going to happen to me now? The Empress has summoned you for an audience 3 hours from now. What does the Empress want with me? Eurydice wipes her tears away. She didn't say, but we think she intends to personally congratulate you on your new role. Alright, I suppose I should start getting ready then. First, High Priest Elijah requested to check up on you as soon as you woke up. Check up on me? With his light magic, he wants to see if your body and mind are alright after being touched by God's grace. I'm feeling okay, but I suppose I shouldn't turn away a member of the church. Not complying with their wishes might be dangerous now that I'm somewhat part of their organization. The reality is so overwhelming that I would really prefer to be alone now, but there's no time for me to mull over what has happened. The chance to break down will come later, after everyone goes to sleep. Okay, you can tell the High Priest I will see him. I'll go bring him here. Levi turns around and walks out of the room in long strides. Eurydice gives me a comforting smile. Everything's going to be okay. I hope so too. Silence falls between us. but it's a cozy, warm kind of quiet. I get the feeling that, no matter what happens, Eurydice will support me, until the story calls for her to die. I envy Celeste for having such a great sister and friend. I should use this opportunity to ask Eurydice some questions about my situation. I'll just have to be careful about how I broach these topics. I don't want to reveal my jumbled knowledge about the world. What does it mean to have the role of Saintess? How long has the Empire waited for the Saintess? What do we know about the Demon Queen? What does it mean to have the role of the Saintess? The Saintess is the fourth most important person in the Lokari Empire, after the Empress, her Emperor Consort, and the Crown Prince. You're on par with the head of the church, the High Priest. Am I part of the church now? You're not a priest or a priestess, if that's what you're asking. You're still a noble, so you can marry someone of noble standing if you'd like. You're not sworn like the clergy to only marry within the church. I remember this subplot regarding Elijah. He wouldn't be able to be with Levi because Elijah is only allowed to marry someone from the priesthood. Forbidden love. A popular trope. Marriage. It feels so far away. We're 18 now, so father will probably help us find suitable suitors soon. I would love to marry for love, if at all possible. Love. Love was one of the components needed to defeat the Demon Queen. Levi and Noah's love. But I have to fall in love with someone now that I was a Saintess. I hope I'll have enough time if that's really necessary. If not, someone who falls in love easily. Do you have someone in mind for marriage? What? Maybe. You can tell me. I'm not gonna tell anybody. Maybe another time. I'm not ready to admit it myself. I chuckle. Eurydice is adorable when she's shy. How long has the Empire waited for the Saintess? As the High Priest said, the golden bow was created by the blessed blacksmith 20 years ago, before we were ever born. They say he worked tirelessly, day and night for 2 weeks to create the artifact. The design was bestowed upon him by the God of Light himself. The blessed blacksmith said God told him in a dream that the golden bow will choose its saint when the time is right. Only the saint can wield the weapon and harness its power. What Eurydice tells me aligned to the backstory I already know from the novel, but it's good to be reminded about the details. I listen intently. What kind of power does the golden bow have? Light-aligned magic, the kind that the priest wields. It is said that only an arrow shot from the artifact will be able to kill the Demon Queen. The usual fantasy world MacGuffin then. For plot reasons, other weapons can't harm the ultimate boss. Right. Makes sense. It doesn't, but Eurydice doesn't seem to be aware of how ridiculous it is that only one weapon wielded by one special person can kill the enemy that the Empire has been fighting against for decades. After the Golden Bow was created, the whole Lokari Empire and our allied kingdom of Durandal were tested to see if the saint was among them. The savior wasn't found. Later, it was decided that every person would get tested on their 18th birthday, as suggested by the blessed blacksmith. 20 years passed, but the saint still wasn't found, until now. It feels so random that I was actually chosen as the Saintess. But it's my reality now. This world seems to operate on book logic anyway. What do you know about the Demon Queen? The people who have seen her say that she was a beautiful woman. Except she also has horns, a tail, and a third eye on her forehead. But she's far from human. She's cruel and dangerous. She kills humans without mercy. She commands an army of demons, vile monstrosities. You saw one. Was it as ugly as they say? The imp wasn't pretty, that's for sure. It was cute! What is with this fantasy racism? The war has been going on for 23 years now. Over that time, 1/3 of Lokari's Empire's lands to the east have been ravaged by war and infiltrated by the demons. They leave only ruins behind when they take over a town. The fire is said to be ever burning. They'll have to travel east to defeat the Demon Queen. She's taken up residence in the Clomond Castle. It used to be the seat of Duke Clomond and his family, but they had to abandon their homeland to the demons 10 years ago. That news doesn't make me want to go to the border at all. It'll be like walking straight into the maws of the enemy. I fear you won't have a choice in the matter. The Empress decreed long ago that once the Saint or Saintess was found, they would immediately embark on the quest to defeat the Demon Queen with a party of the most capable fighters. The quest, sounds like a story from a role-playing game. Not that I expect anything else from this book world. Levi went on his quest as the Saint after all. I just hope you won't have to leave so soon. I think I'll need some time to learn to wield the golden bow and accept the whole situation. I'm sure the Empress will understand. Those are all the questions I have for now. At least. Thank you so much for helping me sort through everything, sister. Eurydice gives me a bright smile. That's what I'm here for. One thing's for certain. The people of the Lokari Empire have been waiting for these Saintess for ages. A lot of faith will be put into your abilities. A lot will be expected from you. I don't envy you. If I could, I would share this burden with you. Thank you. I'm really moved by Eurydice's dedication to me. There's a knock on the door, and Levi's voice can be heard from the other side. High Priest Elijah and Count Decorus have arrived. They can enter. Elijah comes into the room, followed by Father. Levi closes the door behind them, remaining in the living room of our apartment to guard the entrance. The High Priest bears a friendly smile. Father, on the other hand, wears his usual scowl on his face. He seems like he wants to say something. I give him an inquiring look, which is met with a glare. I don't know if I should laugh or cry at the fact that his disposition towards Celeste hasn't changed, even in the middle of such a life-changing situation. What does Celeste have to do for her father to show her affection? If I had any hope that he would be proud of me now that I had suddenly advanced to a great position in the hierarchy of the Empire, it evaporates now. I decide not to say anything to Father while Elijah is around. I don't want him to witness a fight between us, and I doubt I can hold my tongue right now. May I sit beside you? Sure. Elijah approaches and sits beside me on the bed. I need to touch you to make sure you're healthy. Is that alright? Is that how light magic works? As someone who reincarnated here from Earth, I have little knowledge about magic. I don't remember a scene like this with a high priest in the book. Come to think of it, Levi didn't faint after touching the golden bow. He must have a much stronger resistance to pain than I do. Celeste's body doesn't know much about magic either. She has no magical powers of her own after all. Nobody in the Decorus family does. If Elijah says he has to touch me for his magic to work though, I doubt he's lying. I look at him. He stares back at me with a patient smile. The High Priest is really attractive. Never thought I would find a guy with pink hair dashing, but he must have the longest lashes I've ever seen on a man. I blush, realizing I'm checking Elijah out. He's a priest, for heaven's sake! Eurydice just reminded me that he can only marry within the clergy. He's off limits. Besides, he only wants to touch me to make sure I'm okay. I mean, like, he can touch me in more ways than that. Stupid hormones. I clear my throat, so I can do nothing to stop my cheeks from burning. Alright, go ahead. Elijah surprises me by leaning his forehead against mine. Why does Elijah have more CGs than Levi? Well, there was that one. There was the one CG where Levi was carrying me, but still, this is not fair! Before I can protest, an aura of white surrounds his body. It's really working his magic on me. I close my eyes and focus on how his magic makes me feel. His touch is pleasant and warm. I become strangely comforted. Before I realize what I'm doing, I lean in closer towards him. Elijah's chuckle makes me snap out of the comforting embrace of his magic.
Light magic does have a good feel, doesn't it?
Don't speak to me in that tone! I don't need to feel feelings right now! There's a twinkle in his eye and a confident smirk on his face. Is he flirting with me? Embarrassed, I pull away. Lady Celeste is healthy. I can also confirm that the golden bow's magic has entered her body. She's a Saintess. Father lets out a heavy sigh. I hope you won't embarrass me. I glare at him, pursing my lips. I want to call him out on his unkind behavior, but I stop myself. I turn back to Elijah instead. Thank you for the checkup. You're welcome. Only 2 hours remain until Celeste has to attend the audience with the Empress. Yeah. We should go and let Sister prepare for seeing the Empress. I don't want to keep talking with Elijah. If anyone can explain to me more about the Golden Bow's magic, it's him. Unfortunately, now is not the right time. Father rings the bell. A moment later, Linda appears in the doorway. Make Celeste presentable for meeting the Empress and Emperor Consort. Yes, my lord. Everyone says their goodbyes to me, and they leave me alone with my maid. I don't trust my maid. I don't know why, but something about her just... It screams to me conspiracy. I don't know why. I follow a step behind father. We walk through the corridors of the palace to the throne room, where the Empress and the Emperor Consort are waiting for us. As I watch father's back, I feel Celeste's resentment for him resurface. No, resentment isn't a strong enough term to describe her feelings. Celeste hates her father. Not without reason either. What he's done to her over the years is something I can only describe as pure abuse. He's belittled her constantly, both in public and in private. His favorite title for her is his no-good daughter. He has always made her feel like she is less than Eurydice, unworthy of his praise. The only time he ever pulls his attention away from Eurydice is when Celeste misbehaves. Celeste's mother died when the two girls were young. Celeste has no memories of her and no one to shield her from her father's wrath. Maybe that situation is why Celeste is always out hunting or horseback riding, talking herself far away from father and her duties as a noble lady, or taking herself away from him. And Levi. He has watched Celeste suffer at father's hand. I have a memory of him standing up for his love, and father having him flogged for it. After that event, Celeste forbade her knight to ever act in her defense again in front of her father. Levi protested, but Celeste insisted, using her authority as his noble lady to make him agree. In the years that followed, they both suffered, Celeste from her father's abuse and Levi, watching his love in pain. How could I not hate Celeste's father for his disgusting behavior? A pang of loneliness shoots through my heart. My parents never abused me, but I wasn't from a picture-perfect family either. There was a lot of fighting between mom and dad before they finally divorced. I was 14 when they parted ways, and I had a lot of trouble accepting that the situation wasn't my fault. I tried to help them fix their broken relationship before the divorce, but they didn't believe their marriage was worth saving. Eventually, everything fell apart regardless of my efforts. Ever since then, I've had trouble trusting anybody enough to fall in love. I had a boyfriend in high school, but he broke up with me because I was too cold and emotionless towards him. His exact words. At the time, I just didn't know how to show love or if I should even be open about my deep feelings for him at that early stage of our relationship. Both Celeste and Celine have their own baggage. Still, I was finding it very hard not to talk back to father whenever he was rude to me. Celeste has long since given up on their relationship and simply chose to ignore his outbursts, but letting someone belittle me wasn't my style. I realized father had stopped walking when I almost bumped into him, stopping just in time to avoid the collision. High Priest Elijah? Hello again, Saintess, Count Decorus. Elijah nodded us with a soft smile, ignoring Levi's presence, of course. Knights in the Lokari Empire are just gods to their nobles. Elijah doesn't think much about Levi in this reality. Levi is not the saint after all. I decided to join you during the audience. We're happy to have you. Are you ready to enter? I'm not, but then again, I'm not sure if I ever will be. Father nods in response to Elijah's words before I can protest. Let's enter. The guards in front of the throne room entrance open the door, and Father and Elijah enter the hall. I turn to Levi. Now more than ever, I need the support of someone who I know cares for me. Even if Levi won't be allowed to say anything during the audience, I want him present by my side. Come in with me. You'll only be able to stay by the door, but I want you to be there for this conversation. All right. I enter the throne room as well now, Levi following behind me. The Empress is sitting on her throne, and the Emperor Consort is lounging in the smaller chair next to her. Empress Mirelle is as radiant in person as she is in Celeste's memories, wearing a golden gown. She is the son of the Lokari Empire. Her husband, Emperor Consort Lucius, comes from our allied country, Durandal. He's called the Moon of the Lokari Empire. When the Empress sees us approach, she gives us a bright smile. At last, the prophesied Saintess stands before me in the flesh. I smile and make my best attempt at courtesy, following Celeste's memory. The wince on father's face tells me I failed to move properly. For some reason, I find his expression funny. I cover my mouth so that nobody sees the smirk on my face. If I embarrass father in front of the Empress, I can't say it wouldn't be enjoyable. Father and Elijah make smooth bows. Thank you for the chance to have an audience with you, Your Grace. Grace to be in your presence again, oh radiant lady. Of course, how could I not gaze upon the chosen heroine with my own eyes? The Empire has been awaiting her for over 20 years. Although, I'm surprised your daughter is the one who turned out to be the Saintess, Count Aleri. A nervous chuckle escapes father's lips. She's always been good with the bow. So I've heard. Your daughter doesn't act much like a noble lady, does she? She does have a reputation for enjoying quite boyish activities. Father's face turns beet red. He's embarrassed because of me. I realize I shouldn't let myself be too happy about the situation, though. There's too much at stake. I can't ignore the fact that, as the Saintess, I have an important role to uphold in the Lokari Empire. As Eurydice explained to me, I'm the fourth most important person in the hierarchy now. No pressure. It seems the Empress finds me lacking as well, and having her, out of all people, displeased with me is not good. Remember Noah's plotline from the novel. The Empress sends him on the quest with Levi to defeat the Demon Queen, even though Noah is the heir to the throne. Or so he should be, being Empress Mirel's firstborn. However, the monarch is a very controlling person. She doesn't want to give up the power of her throne to anybody, so she hopes to continue ruling through her child once she abdicates. Due to the law of the Lokari Empire, a person can only rule for 40 years before they have to pass on the role to another. The Empress is aging, but based on what I know from the novel, her hunger for power over the years has only grown. She wants to keep her influence over the politics of the Empire. However, Noah, her heir, isn't someone who can be easily controlled. The Empress has a second son, however, 10-year-old Matteo, whom she's raising to be completely obedient and reliant on her own opinions. She only sends Noah on the mission because she hopes he will die so she can establish Matteo as her new heir. She can't pronounce someone else the crown prince until Noah is gone. Someone as ruthless as the Empress is definitely not a good enemy to have. It's known that... Oh, this is Emperor. It's known that Count Decorus has two daughters. The one who's a perfect image of a noble lady, and the one who's a tomboy. I suppose the girl that stands before us, although dressed in finery, is not much of a proper noble. Silence falls in the room. Everyone looks at me, expecting me to answer. Under the sudden attention, my mouth is dry, and I can't find my words. They don't know much about Celeste, but rumors precede her. They have already judged her. Me. Why did I think I would suddenly gain respect by becoming the Saintess when Celeste's questionable reputation has been spreading for years? In a sense, it's good that everyone expects Celeste to be quite lousy at etiquette. After all, I have no idea how to curtsy or properly use the utensils or dance like a graceful noble lady. Since Celeste's skills didn't directly transfer to me, if she really had been a perfect lady, I would have suddenly looked like an imposter. Still, I don't want the Empress to think I'm as worthless as a saint too. If she deems me inadequate like father does, will she try to get rid of me so the Golden Bow can choose another saint? I don't think she has a very forgiving personality, judging by how much she hates her own son. Just when I gather my words to speak, the door to the throne room burst open. Oh my god, that's Noah! A well-posed, tall blonde man enters the room in a dramatic fashion, his cloak waving behind him in the sudden draft of air. He is Noah, Levi's love interest in the book. He's one of the most handsome guys I've ever seen. Next to Levi and Elijah, his skin is darker than most Lokari Empire nobles, but only slightly. Noah is of mixed race. The current Emperor Consort is not Noah's father, but the previous consort was from our allied country, Durandal, which happens to be in the south. Wait, I thought our current Empire Consort is from Durandal as well. The Durandai are known for having darker complexions, Noah inherited most of his features from the Empress, though. When he spots me, a smirk appears on his face. His red eyes shine with mischief.
Knock, knock. Did I miss anything?
I love him! I love Noah!
Fashionably late as always, my son.
If I missed nothing, there was nothing to miss. This is the Saintess, right? Count Decoris's tomboy daughter.
Okay, I felt the sting there. I hold back a groan. Even Noah knows about Celeste's reputation?
Yes, that's me.
You're good at archery, are you not? Better than you are at etiquette, at the very least.
Yes, I'm quite good with a bow.
Probably not as good as Celeste was, though, I presume, judging by her renowned reputation. At least I'm still good enough to shoot arrows with decent accuracy. I just need to practice a bit more and remember everything I learned in middle school.
Quite. Then you'll be perfect for the role of the Saintess.
I hate him, which makes me love him even more. God, I want him!
How can you say that? If a lacking individual takes up such a high role in the hierarchy of the Empire...
All the Saintess needs to do is shoot the golden bow and hit the Demon Queen straight in the heart. Then the war will finally be over.
He has a point!
Is that not what you want, Mother?
I want peace more than anything else.
That's a lie. With the army off fighting at the warfront, the Empress feels more secure in her rule here in the capital. Do you question God's will, Empress? It is the Lord who has chosen Lady Celeste to be the Saintess of the Golden Bow. While Celeste may be lacking in some areas, she asserts she's great at archery, and her reputation confirms her words. Right, Mother. So you shouldn't worry. Lady Decoris will make an excellent Saintess. I wish I could share the faith these two have in me. Still, I have to maintain a confident front, so I put on my brightest smile. Please, don't worry about anything, Your Grace. I'll defeat the Demon Queen and bring peace to the the Empire. Empress Mirelle gives me a long look. After a moment, the confident smirk that Noah inherited from her is back on her face. Excellent. There's nothing stopping us from proceeding with the mission to defeat the Demon Queen, is there? Noah, you will be the one leading the Saintess's quest. Noah's eyes widen. He opens his mouth, then closes it. But you will lead the Saintess's quest, and you will take the 20 best men from the palace's guard, the Mage's Tower, and the church to accompany you. And you will leave in a month. In a month? So soon? Shock makes my heart beat erratic. With my current archery skills, I'm nowhere near ready to defeat a powerful enemy so soon. Is there a problem? You said you're great at using the bow, and that's all you need to be a successful Saintess, right? The Empress has really turned the tables on me. I can't deny her words, and neither can Noah. After all, we're the ones who just made those claims to her. I simply thought we'd have more time to prepare. There is no more time. Not with the Demon Queen's army closing in more and more on the capital in recent years. I think the Saintess and you are ready enough. But do you question the Empress's judgment? Oh wait, no, that's Emperor Lucius. The Emperor and Noah glare at each other. Noah doesn't respond. He finally just turns around and walks towards the door. Noah, you will prepare for the quest and depart in a month. As you wish, Your Grace. If it's not too much to ask, I want to accompany the Saintess and the Prince on their quest. Elijah's request surprises me for a moment until I remember that he wanted to join the mission when Levi was the Saint as well. Are you sure, High Priest? You will be leaving your office behind for 2 months. Yes, I'm sure. I'll take Gareth with me as well. Meredith can manage running the office on her own. I'll appoint some people to help her with the paperwork. The Saintess's quest will be a historic moment in the life of the Lokari Empire. I wouldn't want to miss witnessing the Saintess defeat the Demon Queen. He has strange taste, but with Elijah's light magic, our success will be easier. I don't protest. We'll need all the help we can get. All right. You may go as well. Thank you, Your Grace. I will organize a ball to celebrate the finding of the Saintess tomorrow evening. Be sure to attend, all of you. We all reply we'll be there, and after some final departing words, we're dismissed. After the audience, I ask everyone to give me some time alone. I am too overwhelmed by the recent events. I need some time to think. I take a sheet of paper and a quill, and I begin to scribble down my thoughts. I survived my death event, the demon attack in the woods near the decorous mansion. That's why Levi is likely to continue to love Celeste and not become interested in anybody else. Except, I'm not really the Celeste he loves. I have her memories and a portion of her skills, but I'm basically Celine in Celeste's body. I'm not just Celeste recollecting a past life. Instead, I, Celine, have taken over Celeste's body at a pivotal moment of her current life. Does that mean Celeste is dead? I guess the answer to that question doesn't really matter, though. The thought of her passing is sad. I'm now the Saintess of the Golden Bow, a hero to the whole Lokari Empire, has been waiting for years, yet Levi was supposed to take on that role. Levi has been training to protect Celeste all his life. He's way more skilled at archery than I am. I have a month to train myself, to use a bow properly. Not just any bow, though. The Golden Bow, which seems more ornamental than practical. Wielding that weapon will be a pain in the ass! What were the two components needed to defeat the Demon Queen again? The first one is firing an arrow imbued with the Golden Bow's light magic at the Demon Queen's heart and actually hitting the target. So I'll need to practice both archery and accessing the bow's magic. As someone who comes from Earth, I have no idea how to wield magic. The very concept of magical power coursing through my body is foreign to me. I suppose training with a bow will just take time, though I have little to spare. As for wielding its magic, that's something Elijah will know more about, given that he's a light magic user. I scribble down that I need to talk to Elijah about the Golden Bow and its magic. Know thy enemy, they say, and right now, my enemy, until I master it, is that bow. There is also a second component to defeating the Demon Queen, one that follows his story trope more than practical logic. Noah and Levi's love makes the magic of the Golden Bow stronger. How is that possible? I have no idea! Would Noah and Levi being in love now still solve this problem? Regardless, the two of them falling in love is not going to happen now. Levi is still hung up on Celeste. He won't give Noah a second look. Meanwhile, the real Celeste is technically dead. She never returned Levi's feelings anyway, and as for myself, I can't imagine falling in love with someone in a month. Love is such a difficult topic for me. I don't trust or fall in love easily. I'm so screwed! I'm scared. The situation isn't just a story in a book anymore, it's my reality. Levi, Elijah, Noah, Eurydice, Father, the Empress. They're all real people. They aren't acting according to the script either. The plot of the book has changed. It's a real world now with unpredictable consequences. And I'm at the center of this new story. Levi dies at the end of the book, despite defeating the Demon Queen, despite Noah's love for him. Will I die again too? Or will that aspect of the story change as well? No, I can't give up. I must change reality and my fate. It's not like me to mope around and feel defeated. I am the master of my own destiny. If I have to fall in love with someone, who should it be? Levi, who blindly adores his lady? Noah, who has been burdened with leading the mission to defeat the Demon Queen? Elijah, who is a priest and can't marry someone unless they're part of the church? Or should I pick someone else entirely? I at least have to admit that all three of them are handsome men. I just hope my own baggage isn't going to drag me down too much. Will I turn cold and detached if I enter a relationship with any of them, just like I did towards my ex-boyfriend? Can someone like me even make a guy fall in love with her within a month? My heart is beating too quickly. Now that I realize what's really at stake and what I have to do, I'm terrified. I lie down in bed and hide my face against the pillow. Tears stream down my cheeks, soaking the material. For the first time since reincarnating, I give in to all the emotions that have built up inside of me. I'm just one young girl. How can I carry so many heavy burdens? Eventually, I cry myself to sleep. I toss and turn all night though, unable to get any real rest until nearly dawn. The next evening, Linda gets all dolled up for the grand ball the Empress is throwing in my name. At the ball, I find myself sitting at the table, staring at silverware. I have no idea how to properly use. Celeste's memories aren't helping much either. The servants put a salad in front of me, and I pick up one of the forks. There's an offended gasp from my left. I look at the noble lady sitting next to me. She's almost purple in the face, staring down at the fork I'm holding. Wrong piece of cutlery, then. I put it down and take another in my hand. I steal a sideways glance at the noble lady. She doesn't seem offended anymore. This one must be the right fork, then. When everyone starts eating, I dig into the salad too, but it tastes like paper to me. I'm nervous. My hands are clammy.
So you've become the Saintess, Lady D'Aquarius.
Who is this? But to the man to my right, Duke George is... If Celeste's memory serves me correctly, strikes up a conversation with me. He's a young duke, and a powerful player on the battlefield of Lokari Empire's politics. I'll have to do my best not to say or do anything strange.
Yes, despite my surprise, the golden bow has chosen me.
Well, now that you carry such an important role, do you plan to improve your knowledge of etiquette?
He points at my salad. Oh, come on, what am I doing wrong this time? The Duke smiles, but his expression isn't unkind.
You have no idea what you're doing wrong, do you?
I don't.
I don't.
May I?
He extends his hand to me when that... Oh, God, I'm sorry. He's too hot! He extends his hand to me when I don't protest. He touches my hand gently to modify the way I'm holding my fork.
Oh, come on, George. You're spoiling the fun.
The lady to my left has a cruel smile on her face. Shoot, I really was eating the salad wrong after all. My cheeks heat up from embarrassment, and suddenly I find it hard to breathe. For every kind person like Duke George, there's a cruel one like the lady here, a vulture, just waiting for me to make a mistake. Now that I'm the Saintess, I will be watched even more closely than Celeste was as a mere count's daughter. They're all going to be laughing for weeks about the way I ate a stupid salad. Just know it. Celeste's memory tells me that this incident won't be the first time she's ruined her reputation with a stupid mistake either. Excuse me. I can't be here anymore to get some fresh air or else I will hyperventilate. Are you okay? Duke George calls after me, but I walk quickly to the terrace. Once I'm far away from the throne room, I run into the gardens. I stop only when I reach a small lake. Here, I put my arms around my frame, trying to control my breathing. Breathe, Selena. In, out. In, out. Don't cry. Don't cry. You'll ruin the makeup. You'll ruin the makeup Linda spent hours putting on you to make you feel like a real noble lady. Didn't think I would run into you here. I turn around when I hear the voice. It's Noah. He's drawn his sword, and his usual mocking demeanor is not present. He's completely serious when... He suddenly puts his sword against my throat. My heart beats so loudly that it feels like it could jump out of my chest, this time from fear. Does no one want to kill me?
I wish I could just kill you and be done with it.
He does? Why? Suddenly I remember the scene. I fangirled over it when I was reading the novel. This is the scene where Noah puts his sword at Levi's throat. It's overly dramatic, and most of the readers of the novel read it as a romantic interaction. We talked about the event for hours on the web novels forums. But right now I think this setup is just ridiculous. I could take a step back at any time from the coldness of the steel, and my neck would be safe. I give Noah a long stare. He's looking at me seriously, as if he's pondering if he should harm me. I don't believe he actually will. I will entertain his antics for a while longer, just to see what he has to say to me. I want to know how much the scene changes with me here instead of Levi.
Why do you want me dead?
Because you're the reason I have to go on the mission to kill the Demon Queen. And so soon. If anybody less capable than you had been chosen as the Saintess, Mother wouldn't have told us to leave within a mere month.
I'm glad he thinks so highly of my archery skills, especially considering how little the nobles think of my etiquette skills, but he's wrong.
I may not be as great at archery as you think.
That fact would change nothing at this point. Mother is now convinced you can defeat the fiend. This is a suicide mission. None of us will come back from the quest.
Even though I remember this line from the book, my eyes widen.
How do you know we won't return?
His words almost feel oddly like foreshadowing for what happens in the book. No one seems to seriously believe what he's saying.
20 people going deep into demon-ravaged lands to enter the Demon Queen's castle and kill her. What could possibly go wrong?
He's really convinced we're going to die on this quest. I can see the desperation in his eyes.
Can't you convince your mother to postpone the day we leave or to increase the amount of people we can bring with us?
I've already tried. She doesn't want to listen. It's almost as if she wants to set us up for failure.
Oh, Noah, you're closer to the truth than you think. I can't tell him anything about his mother's plan to get rid of him. He will grow suspicious if I, someone he barely knows, spouted such important information about his life. I should only tell him what's really going on with the Empress when or if we become friends during the quest.
Look, I'm afraid of the mission too. But I don't want to give up. I won't just roll over and die. I'll keep fighting until the very end. No matter how the mission ends, I want to be sure I've done everything I can to fulfill my role properly.
Noah's eyes widen.
You're right. I can't just give up.
I love the voice actor for Noah. Like, it's just so good. I must also see the mission through until the end. I almost thought of telling you to kill me. I'm sure you'll do great on the quest. I hear you're a great fighter. Rumor has it you're difficult to talk to and don't have very good social skills. All I see here is a composed young woman who can compliment others. You're a mystery, Saintess. Uh-oh, I must be careful about what I say to others. I don't want to break my character as Celeste too much. One thing's for sure. I don't want you to die, Your Grace. Just Noah is fine. We're teammates now, I suppose. I like the sound of that. Noah smiles back. He seems much more relaxed now. I'll continue trying to get Mother to delay the deadline for us to leave. I would appreciate more time to train. Right. Time to go back to the ball then. Without sparing me another glance, Noah walks past me towards the terrace. I watch him until he disappears between the carefully trimmed bushes of the palace garden. I look out at the water of the lake and take a few deep breaths. I really hadn't expected Levi's scene with Noah to play out for me. I also didn't respond like Levi did. Our encounter didn't turn romantic at all. Yet, my heart is beating quickly regardless because I'm still scared about so many things. The stress is catching up to me. I fall to my knees on the soft grass. I can't hold back my tears any longer. In the end, I'm just a girl, caught up in so many responsibilities. I'm tired. I'm terrified. I want it all to stop. No matter how much I cry, though, this new reality won't magically change for me. I'm still Celeste. I'm still the Saintess. The sooner I accept my fate and put my energy into the few things I can still change, the better. With renewed purpose, I get up and start walking back to my room. Screw the ball. I'm not going back there only to be ridiculed further. I don't want the whole Imperial Court to continue watching how terrible I am at being a noble lady. If I had more time before the quest, I would have taken lessons to get better at etiquette. However, with the way the situation has unfolded, I'll have to focus only on improving my archery and horseback riding skills. Besides, the future of the Empire doesn't depend on me knowing which fork to use for salad, but it certainly does hang on me using the golden bow properly. I'm walking down the corridor towards the apartment where my family is staying when I hear someone running behind me. Celeste! Levi calls me by my first name, like he always does when it's just me and him. Celeste. It's something the two of them agreed to do when they were younger. Levi stops before me and looks me up and down. Where have you been? I didn't notice you when you left the throne room. You're not supposed to go anywhere without me. Father's orders. I know, I just forgot. I realize I haven't been thinking about how Levi would feel if I suddenly disappeared yet again. I'm not concerned about failing to follow his orders. I'm genuinely concerned about you. He blushes and looks away. My heartbeat quickens. Why though? Celeste has no romantic feelings towards Levi, but do I? I must admit, he's very handsome and kind, and he's my favorite character from the book. Am I that much of a simp? I let out a long sigh. Levi looks back at me with a worried expression, then he looks me up and down again. You're alright, are you not? He focuses on my face and frowns. You've been crying. He must notice my smudged makeup. I was, but I feel better now. I haven't, I'm fine. I'll be honest. I was, but I'm feeling better now. What made you cry? When I see the sincere worry on Levi's face, I want to tell him the truth. I'm just overwhelmed by suddenly becoming the Saintess, by having to carry the burden of saving the whole empire. I look down, tears welling up in my eyes again. Celeste. I look back up to see Levi staring at me with love and adoration. It hurts being on the receiving end of such feelings, knowing that they aren't really for me. No matter what happens, know that I'll always stay by your side. I'm sorry to drag you into this quest with me. He would have been caught up in this mess anyway, if he were the Saint, but now he's coming along anyway as Celeste Knight. What if Levi dies protecting me? My heart feels heavy. I must do my best to get as strong as possible. Don't say that. I swore to always protect you. Didn't I? Back when I became your knight, remember? I recall Celeste's memory of that time. They were both 14 back then, and Levi took a knee in front of her and swore he would protect her until death did them part. He made his vow with such sincerity and fervor. Yet, I'm not the one whom he swore to always stay beside. That person was Celeste. So he should be free of the oath since Celeste is, kinda dead. I can't tell him the truth though. On the spur of a moment, I gesture towards Levi. Lean down, please. You're too tall. Too tall for what? Levi gives me a puzzled look, but complies with my request. What? I press up on my toes and kiss him on the cheek. Not as Celeste, but as Celine, because I genuinely feel grateful to him, and don't know how else to express myself right now.
Celeste?
Oh god, I love him. Levi blushes a deep red and gets flustered. Only when I lean back and smile at him do I realize I should not be doing something so intimate to a man who loves the woman who once inhabited this body. I might be sending him the wrong message.
I'm sorry.
Don't be sorry.
I love him.
I just wanted to express my gratitude.
I let out a sigh.
You always do your very best to protect me. Thank you, Levi.
You're welcome, but it's my job to take care of you.
I know you're not doing it just because it's your job.
Levi gives me a startled look. I turn around and start walking towards my room before he can reply. Let's go, Levi. We need to rest. Training starts tomorrow. And that's the end of the demo. Anyway, that was Saintess of the Golden Bow. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys do want to play this game for yourselves, link to the game will be in the description below. And yeah, I'm a little excited to see where this visual novel is gonna go in the near future. I did hear that they're going to be releasing an extended demo soon enough, so I'm a bit curious to see where the story picks up from here. Like, what is the training montage gonna be like, and how are they going to like manage some of the more like action-oriented scenes? I'm really curious about that, because like the scenes that are available now, like I do like their use of angles for it. Like, it looks pretty darn dynamic. But in the meantime, thank you so much for watching. Hope you all have a lovely rest of the day, and as always, I'll be seeing you in the next video. This is Lion, signing off. Ciao.